Right. Hi everybody, it's Robert Berend, that's B-E-R-E-N-D. Today is February 15th, 2025. I'm speaking at the LA Mensa Regional Gathering. Thunderous applause like I'm Colbert. Hundreds of people are here. That's great. This presentation is called Ask the Sexologist. I'm a sexologist. I have a PhD in human sexuality. And I've been studying human sexuality and biology of sex and all that since I was a teenager reading my mother, who was a doctor. She got a magazine called Medical Aspects of Human Sexuality. So even as a wee lad, and thank my parents didn't raise me with this guilt of sex and sexuality, they never taught me the birds and the bees as best I recollect, which probably would have been good because I remember getting this information in summer camp and elsewhere. And boy, is there a lot of misinformation. So maybe you'll come up with some questions. I have about 20 topics I made a list of here on the phone. And any question is okay, no matter how gross and disgusting and perverted, it's totally fine. So I have a PhD in human sexuality. This is my dissertation. I did this before the film started, but that's cool, because I'm okay with it. My dissertation, because as we know, dating sucks, was entitled Perceptions of Chemistry, First Date Selection Criteria, and Factors in First Intercourse from the San Francisco area, 2003. So I did it a long time ago, but still good. But yes, indeed, there's like 120 pages of actual stuff. And if anybody knows how I can get this uploaded onto the internet, that would save me something on my to-do list. The book I'll recommend all the time, I'm also the moderator on the website Quora.com of Ask the Sexologist. I am the moderator and have been for a number of years, and I recommend this book that I didn't write called The Guide to Getting It On by Paul Joannides. How do you spell your last name, Paul? Joannides. So you can get this book online or get it from him, because then he gets a royalty, and it's about 800 pages, everything from sperm and egg to pregnancy, to why do you have a period, to kink and sex and aging and sex and disability, which gets more important as you get older because you're getting older. So I recommend this for you, your kids, your grandparents. Fun reading. So we can talk about dating, relationships, sex. We can talk about the effect of AI. There was the movie that came out about a dozen years ago called She, which was about a guy that fell in love with his AI computer, an imaginary woman that he fell in love with. And what I've always commented about the movie is that they still didn't make shirt pockets bigger, because his computer keeps just about ready to fall out of his. He thought they would have designed a larger shirt pocket with the advanced technology. But he falls in love with this AI and goes out to dinner with her and introduces his friends. And I thought that was always interesting. And then there's somebody coming in as Alan Watts, who you might remember Alan Watts, and the guy doesn't have a British accent. And why did they bring in Alan Watts to AI? I don't know. But you know, people are falling in love with internet scammers and sending money away and doing all kinds of stupid things. People are falling in love in great relationships. People are having one-night stands with people they didn't know 15 minutes earlier and having a great time, or maybe not a great time. It depends. So currently, now that Trump is president again, the DEI is being taken off the tables, and there's issues about transphobia and what if some guy with a beard wearing a dress comes into the bathroom. I'm worried. So we can talk about whatever you want to talk about, so long as it's about sex. I used to lecture on financial planning when I was a stockbroker and an investment advisor and a lawyer who knew estate planning. We can do that after the camera's done, afterwards, but let's keep this hour to sex. So anybody want to raise their hand and volunteer a question?
We have a few here.
We have a few here. Okay. Regarding and I'm not choosing to get, thank you very much. I'm not choosing to get argumentative on politics, because that's an absolute waste of time and I don't do that. But this recent decision in January 2025 of everybody is their birth sex, either male or female, you might be born XX or XY, but that skips XXY, Klinefelter syndrome. It skips XO, which is Turner syndrome. Thank you. So we're not just necessarily born XX or XY. And there's a little gene at the bottom of the X chromosome called, I was confused, SRY or SY. I think it's the SRY. Thank you very much. The SRY gene. And this gene, like after you're about 4 or 6 weeks old as a embryo, affects your androgen, your male receptors, and changes you from the female you were, the female anatomy blob you were as a fetus, into a male, unless you have androgen insensitivity syndrome, blah, blah, blah. So basically, everybody's born female until at about 6 weeks in utero, this thing goes ping, and then your brain starts differentiating and your body starts differentiating from female into male. So there's oodles and oodles of stuff to talk about. We can talk about Cialis, which is better appreciated by users than Viagra, from a conference I went to. Hi, Michael Castleman. Thanks for letting me edit your book a little bit. There are lots of places to go online for sex information. If you go to Canada or Europe, the US website on sex information magically has been shut down. So lots of stuff. So hopefully you're thinking about sex, and let's find out what question one is. Hopefully a large print. As a male, would you feel pressured by your partner to enter, by your partner wanted to hug, cuddle, this assumes erectile dysfunction? Let me read it one more time. As a male, would you feel pressured by your partner who wanted to hug and cuddle, this assumes erectile dysfunction? There's going to be a huge number of things that when I'm done, I'll say, I should have said that, I should have said this. So I am flawless. Sorry, I am flawed. Well, I am flawed, but I am flawed. And I can't think of everything at the same time. The idée de l'escalier, as we all familiar with the idea of going down that you have when you leave the room and think, I should have sit down. Okay. Some people don't like being touched. Autism spectrum, don't touch me, leave me alone, I'll have dinner alone, and all that. I am huggy, I don't have my green hug me dots on, but there are those who like to be touched. I mean, if we had a group hug right now, for me, I am all for that. But if the partner with erectile dysfunction doesn't like touch, then no, I think that's a bad idea. And I'm open to other people's comments, because I don't know everything. Given that the partner, I presume, knows that he cannot get an erection for one reason or another, which could be stress, which could be age, which could be from being on SSRI antidepressants. Feel free to chime in the back row because you're a doctor with additional things. You could be recovering from cancer, and I have better things to do, damn it, than fuck, because I've got cancer. For me, since I'm a huggy, my email is tactile8888@yahoo, right? So that's tactile with 4 8s at Yahoo. So I like touch. If the partner, if someone is pressuring and saying, God damn it, you're a failure, you can't get an erection, you suck, well, he could go suck, that would be an option. There's fingers, there are toes, there are sex toys. There's lots of stuff that can be done to get the partner off, if the partner wants to get off and be played with. There's a guy I know from the conferences I go to. He's a member of the American Association of Sex Educators, Counselors, and Therapists, and he's a paraplegic, and he's done a number of videos. His name's escaping me, but I have it here on the phone. But he's done a number of videos on having sex when you've got some bodily limitations. So if you're with someone, and whether she's not lubricating, which actually in the southern part of Africa, South Sudan, not South Sudan, the country. Sub-Saharan Africa, that's the S word I'm looking for. In Sub-Saharan Africa, culturally they do dry sex. So you and all your lubrication, they don't like that. They like feeling like they're having sex with, I can't think of a better word than sandpaper. In America it's like, I'm not wet yet. And in South Sudan it's, I'm dry, I've put in stuff so that I'm even drier. Great, let's have sex. So, bias, do I hear bias? So, that's it. So, and if someone has erectile dysfunction, he knows it. And depending on how the upbringing was of it's okay to discuss sex with your partner, or sex is dirty and disgusting, save it for someone you love, or we don't discuss sex. And the number of people the misinformation on sexuality and the stuff that you think that you know that's actually wrong, it's a lot of stuff that people think is wrong. There are grown-ups who don't know.